Good afternoon, board of directors of the giant company and the different managers of the different sector. My name is Sylvester Nzovu in the Department of IT, and today I'm going to take you through the fundamentals of cloud computing and related security issues. First, I'm going to do a presentation on the layout of my presentation. And first, I'm going to look at the introduction and definitions, virtualization as a platform, types of surface models of cloud computing, then looking at the comparisons and contrast, then surface-oriented architecture, then deployment models, looking at private, public, and community, then hybrid, then looking at the security storage, then looking at the references. As a start, first we're going to ask ourselves, looking at the introduction and definitions, what do we mean by cloud computing? And first we're going to make a definition of that. And computing in the cloud refers to a concept for delivering information technology service in which resources are provided as a pay-as-you-go service over the internet. In the past, business were responsible for the acquisition and installation of software on their own users, as well as ongoing maintenance and upgrading of these systems. Instead of purchasing software and other resources outright, business can use cloud computing to rent access to them from a third-party supplier on a pay-as-you-go basis. Then the second word that we need to define is virtualization. What do we mean by virtualization? And virtualization is the creation of virtual rather than an actual version of something, such as an operating system, a server, a storage, on a network resource. Virtualization uses software that simulates hardware functions to create a virtual system. Then the second part, we are going to look at virtualization platforms. Which are the different platforms that can be used during virtualization? And in this, there are several kinds of virtualization systems, each of which comes with its own set of advantages and disadvantages. And we have the following: we have the cloud virtualization platform, we have the desktop virtualization, we have the server virtualization, we have virtualization of containers, and hybrid virtualization. All these do give us different service. First, looking at virtualization as performed on the cloud, users of cloud-based virtualization platforms are granted the ability to create and operate virtual machines located in a remote data center. Then when you look at desktop, types of a computer software that enable users to construct and administer virtual machines on their own local desktop computers. Then server virtualization of the containers, and hybrid virtualization, whereby platforms that enable users to create and administer virtual machines not only but also computers, but also in the far away data centers. Then second part, we are going to look at what do we really mean by the types of service model of cloud computing. And in this, we have four types, whereby we have those different types of services that they're offered by cloud computing service providers. And in this, I have categorized them into two. We have the responsibility by the customer and the responsibility by the service provider. And I have put a key there where we have the green and the yellow. And looking at the four, which is on-premises, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Looking at the area of the green is the responsibility taken by the customer. So the customer ensures that is achieved within the infrastructure. And then when you look at the yellow is whereby the cloud computing service provider takes responsibility on aspect on the user access, data application, guest OS, virtualization network, infrastructure, and physical. Then looking at security storage or legal and privacy issues. I've looked at what do we need to do to ensure that the seared triangle is well taken care of, that the information and data within an organization is safe. there is accessibility, but at the end of the day, all the information is well kept, is accessible, but there is privacy when everybody's information is kept as required within the organization policy. And we are looking at authorized access to the data you have stored. There should be all the people authorized, yes, given access. For those people who are not authorized, then they are not able to access the information as required. Then you have always, you monitor the log access to your data. Then there's physical access appropriately restricted. Then there is, when it comes to data storage, you need to give thought both the logical and physical safeguards of your information. If you want to prevent unauthorized users from accessing your data, it is only logical that you check that it has been encrypted correctly. Then concerning matters pertaining to the law, your right to privacy, you need to be aware of any and all applicable rules and regulations, and you must ensure that you are in full compliance with them. And you also need to be aware of the policy and procedure related to data privacy that your organization has in place. Then you may also safeguard your data from being accessed by unauthorized parties by ensuring that they are well secured and your data is well encrypted. And you should be able to follow all the corrective measures. Then looking at the local resource requirements. The local resource requirements refers to the specific resources that a local area network needs to have in order for it to function properly. And then looking at the term of local control refers to the capacity of the local area network administrator to manage and configure this in a manner that is compliant with the criteria. Then local requirements, local control, yes, as a continuation. In general, the requirements for the network itself as well as its security are more generic in nature, whereas the needs for local resources and local management are more specific to a given local area network. In addition, the importance of security is growing as a result of the fact that it prevents the network from being severely damaged or stolen from. Then looking at service-oriented architecture, that is SOA. This allows different components of system to communicate with each other in order to make together. This type of architecture is often used in distributed systems where different components are located in different locations. So SOA is often seen as a way to make systems more modular and easier to maintain, as each service can be updated or replaced without affecting the other service in the system. But there are also some drawbacks using SOA, however. One is that it can be difficult to design a system using SOA, as there can be a lot of complexity involved in making sure that all the services work together correctly. Another drawback is that SOA can be less efficient than other types of architecture, as each service needs to communicate with other services in order to work, which can add some overhead to the system. Then looking at deployment models, private, public, or community hybrid, yes. We have the private cloud, public cloud, community cloud, and hybrid. What do we really mean when we talk of a private? This is owned and managed by a single entity or by a small group. They could be managed internally, or if that wasn't possible, by a third party on the outside. Then we have got public, we have community cloud, and we have hybrid cloud. And hybrid cloud is combining the benefits of public cloud computing with those of private cloud computing formation of, and that's where now we form what we call the hybrid cloud. Then in collection of all this information, you are able to make some references on different authors, journalists, journals, and books to be able to gather this information for the presentation. So in case one wants to make a reference, then we have all these. One can be able to refer on and get more information as far as this information is concerned. Otherwise, thank you everyone for your time and patience. And in case one has a questions or area of clarification, please hesitate not. You can reach out to me and I can be able to give further information and any addition as required. Otherwise, thank you very much and have a blessed evening. Thank you.